Hello, it's been a while. I was doing this whole God series that felt really amazing, and then I hit a bump. I was telling my story, and then I hit a point in my story where I was like, I don't really want to relive this story. And it started to all feel really heavy going through all of it. And yet I have known within me that there's still something I really want to explore and talk about. On that note, I'm back and I'm starting in media res. Because I learned that as an English major. You start in the middle, and I'm just starting here. I want to get something though. My Bible. This is my Bible. It has my name on it. I have had an interesting relationship with this book. I actually had shipped it off to California back in 2015, December, when I was leaving New York and I thought I was moving to California. And I was going to California, but what I didn't know was that it was kicking off a whole nomad adventure that I went on for the next 4 years. Anyhow, I had a box of books sitting in my cousin's house in California for the past 4 years. During the pandemic, hanging out in my parents' basement a while, I said, let me get those books, or let me at least get a few of them. And this was one of them that was there. It's just been sitting on my shelf for a while. I picked it up, and I've been reading it. It's got all these underlines in it and highlights. It's got words I wrote. I can go back. I can remember like a pastor telling a story about these Bible verses. Like, I think that's why a lot of things are highlighted and starred, because there'd be a sermon about them and I would really understand it. And I don't know if you can see, but it's got like all these different colors. Highlights. It's a bit of a treasure for me to discover, like, what were these verses that really spoke to me. I couldn't go back and read this for so many years, or it didn't even occur to me, was because it was such a deep deconditioning for me from the beliefs I had about God and about Jesus. It was like the most difficult breakup. Me breaking up with the church. It felt more like conscious, what do they call it? Conscious uncoupling with Jesus. This was me at 23. Jesus, I feel like there's more to the God story than what they're telling me in the church. And Jesus was like, go on, girl. You got this. Going back to anything Christian related was really heavy for me for a really, really long time, until very, very recently. And something I really struggled with was, in my spiritual journey, I was feeling really like I was missing something. And I looked to my friends who were Christians, and their faith was so strong. Their commitment to God was so deep, and I just felt like I was still flailing around. And it was this feeling of like, I want to go back. Maybe I could just go back and have that again, except for I just don't actually believe that is the truth for me. Let me just read you this verse, okay? This is, I think, what I'm trying to say here. This is from the Bible, Psalm 139. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read some highlights, okay? O Lord, you have searched me, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me, and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like day, for darkness is as light to you. I've been waking up a lot of mornings and I read that Bible verse because right now I need that. With the things going on in this world, I need to know that God is in the light and God is in the dark. God is in all of it. I feel almost like the sort of New Age spiritual movement. It's like doesn't really have a clear pathway to that kind of relationship with God. It's more self-focused. And it's almost like we need some of the self-focused and some of the God-focused to find the mystical dance. Trusting myself and surrendering to God. I can surrender to God because I trust myself. Because I trust my experience of God, I can then surrender to my experience of God. And Christianity was that I didn't learn how to trust myself. I learned how to not trust myself. How to trust the book, how to trust the pastors, how to trust Jesus and Jesus's words. But they were all coming through filters of my understandings that I learned from the church or from the Bible, from my understanding of the Bible. So stepping out away from all of it, letting go, having nothing, and having to find truth through the muddy waters, the 40 days in the desert, or the 14, 15 years in the desert. From within that, finding that inner knowing that then I can trust my own path to God. To be able to go back and, this goes against what you'll hear in church, pick and choose. But to feel in on what feels right to me and what doesn't. And to trust that above all, to trust that. It feels really good to feel able to discover God in this way again and discover how great God is. Yeah, so Bible fun. If you have any thoughts, please share them below. And yeah. Go God.